Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. We are back at the SFR GT Challenge, the final season of GTS. And we are at none other than Interlagos, world famous track, as we're looking at DNA Maverick GT on screen. He is currently the points leader overall as we enter round 3. And I am with, of course, my partner PX7 Rodrigo. How you doing tonight, Rod?
Ooh, I'm excited. I love this track. Such a historic track, you know. Such a lovely place, you know. And I am really looking forward to it. It's looking tight. It's gonna be a tight race, I'm sure of, just like the first two. And I think that tonight we might have some more contenders for the win. So I am looking forward to it, and yeah, I think we all are.
Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. I'll tell you what, though, these first 2 rounds have been really intriguing. As we take a look at spec right now, these guys are just in practice right before we get the race kicked off underway. Yeah, you know, the supers, we've talked about it a lot, have struggled off the line. It's a pretty big deal for them, but they have, spec came away with a podium last round, and LJ's doing really well. The Vipers, you got to watch out for Ghost and Tucho. Vipers have a great start off the line along with those vets. Love Juice has actually put in some practice, he said, so let's see what Love Juice can do. A fan favorite with that name, and I heard somebody say in the stream last week, Rod, that he's a pretty good drummer. So I don't know.
Is he?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe he is. He is. We said he's a great racer, so why not a great musician too, right? But we take a look at Little Mac. Little Mac actually came home with a 6th place finish last race. Really, really hard. LJ. As we go through the grid here, and look who's back. It's TX3 Quartz, who, Rod, you know, we do have to mention this. Quartz had a problem with the wheel, actually, his failure with the wheel at Kyoto, right? And we didn't know if he was going to get it back on and get it back going, but he did, and luckily for him, he was still able to maintain that lead until Maverick overtook him on the medium compound. But if it wasn't for that, the more I thought about it after the fact, Quartz actually could have really won the race.
Yeah, he could have been ahead of Maverick in the end. So, yeah, pretty good performance, especially for his first race on SFR. And he's actually, I think we can say this now, he's actually qualified on pole for this race. So, yeah, he's fired up, and we'll see how he does.
Yeah, exactly. As we have Sosa back, and we have to let everybody out there know Sosa is now part of SV, as you see SV Sosa on screen there with his gamer tag. So shout out to our boy Erky, and tell him a little bit about the street version, Rod.
Street version is it started off as a drifting team, I think, and it's this thing of from content creator Tyrannosaurus Rex. He's actually the biggest Gran Turismo streamer on Twitch, so that's pretty cool.
Yep.
And yeah, he plays Gran Turismo, of course, being the biggest Gran Turismo streamer. So they've been recruiting some new drivers recently, and Sosa has been one of them. So it's pretty cool. We're happy for him, and yeah, it's gonna be his debut race with this account, so good luck to him.
Yeah, good luck to him. Good luck to everybody out there. We see Ghost. Okay, Little Mac's gonna be right back because we were going to actually start things off, but that's okay. Maybe these guys have to take a last-minute break, a last-minute sip of water. Maybe they gotta make sure that their wheels are all plugged in the right way. Everything's going the way that it should. But yeah, we'll give these guys another second or so to get ready. Shout out to our team captain Magic Man for all the Rockafella Racing liveries. We did mention last race that Magic had a dip out of the series, and Ghost on screen right now is taking his place. Let's see if we can get somebody here as Maverick comes out of the pits. This might be good. You got LSE in the Audi. Specs waiting in the pits. Tucho, somebody to watch out for, as he came home in 4th. He had just, yeah, 4th. He had just held off Bipolar, who unfortunately were missing tonight. So hopefully Bipolar gets back in soon. I hope so, but they had a great battle. Tucho held them off right to the finish line, but these Vipers off the line definitely have some punch. So the Viper, you got to watch out for Tucho here. We'll see how that goes. Pierre, welcome in. Thank you for the sub last week. Really appreciate it, man. Yeah, hopefully you're enjoying what you're seeing here. But yeah, as soon as Little Mac gets back, guys, we'll be ready to go. Let's give Love Juice a little bit of love here, no pun intended, and take a ride on track here as we're just coming up into the first part of this section. I don't know what I used to call it, but it's the whoops and swerves and chicanes, and you got to be really delicate on everything through here. You can't run too much of that inside curbing right there. You can run on the outside here. This is always a hard braking zone because if you go too left, you'll wind up hitting the grass with your tires and spinning out. Then you got to come in wide, and this turn right here, Rod, you know it better than anybody. When you start getting tire wear, it's real hard to keep the car hooked in. And then the last turn, or second to last turn, as you run up the hill, you can run wide there. Another spot that's a crucial exit, power down, get good exit. And as you see right now, Love Juice doing his thing, riding that inner wall tight they do on qualifying, but in the race you're going to run it like this as we come into the first turn here. And this is all about flow. You got to hit this the right way. You can't take too much curb on the inside there. Love Juice demonstrating that pretty perfect, but he's drifting. Maybe he knows he's on screen, so
giving some show.
Yeah, he got some drifting going in. Good job. So, is Little Mac back? Do we know?
Yes, he's currently driving. Or no, never mind. He's not driving, but he's there.
Okay, let's ask him in chat if he's ready to go.
Yeah, he said I'm back, so we're good.
Okay, so everybody, we are going to get things underway as we take a look at Sep there on track here in the vet. So just so everybody out there knows, again, these are grid starts, and sometimes with connections, it's not mine because we have a gig of service over here, so we're doing pretty good over here. But sometimes, you know, they will get stuck on the grid, or if there's, God forbid, a major pileup, we can call 3 red flags. After the 3rd red flag, there will be no more. If you're stuck on the grid or chaos happens again, penalties will be issued out, and we would then continue to go. As I got a little bit stuttered and lost for words there, because I did see Little Mac leave the room here, leave the lobby, so I'm not too sure what's going on with that there, Rod.
Yeah,
I don't want to start without him. It wouldn't be right to start without him if somebody's having some internet problems. And Little Mac has been doing really well. So I think Pierre was rooting for LJ. I want to say he was rooting for LJ. I could be wrong though, Pierre. I could be wrong. But yeah, you got TX3 Quartz and Sosa, who are in the 1st and 2nd place here. Quartz on pole, as Rodrigo said. Sosa 2nd, Maverick 3rd, and Spec is 4th. So we'll see how that turns out off the line here as everybody's getting ready. So
Little Max had an internet cutout, and unfortunately he won't be able to race with us tonight. So yeah, I've just talked to him, and yeah, that's unfortunate, but I guess we gotta get our race going.
Yes, we do. So that is unfortunate, but we are going to get things going right now. So start your engines, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Round 3 is about to get underway. Let it begin. At the world famous Interlagos.
Alright then, here we go. 26 laps around the famous Interlagos between lakes, the actual translation of the name. And here we go then. Quartz is on pole, as we mentioned, but Sosa will be trying to get the inside for the Senais, but he's got to be careful, because then it turns out to be the outside for the 2nd corner, which is still part of the Senais. But yeah, here we go. 26 long laps. And we've got the lights. Drivers are revving. Engines are fired up, and lights are out. Looks like Sosa is taking the lead at the moment. They are side by, no, they are not side by side. Quartz goes in behind turn 1. Gonna be doing that one another 25 times. Maverick loses ground down in P5, but other than that, looks like everybody is through safely. And Tucho, we mentioned the Vipers, and now he's up into P3 from P6, I think. So here we go.
Tucho got an amazing launch off the line. It was just unbelievable here. As we go through the field, Maverick had a little bit of a slip up, but you got Sep and Love Juice really banging fenders right now. Who's going to get the edge? It looks like Love Juice has him coming into this sector here.
Ooh, there we go. Okay, he finally got him. So yeah, good first lap side by side, and looks like Tucho, as we mentioned, he went up P3 position from P6 to P3 as he gets a little bit loose there, but now we're going through Mergulio and the final corner Yukes out. Fun fact, this corner used to put together two tracks, the old layout and the new layout. Now they don't use the old layout anymore, but yes, we finished lap 1. Sosa from P2 to P1, good job from him, as we now cross the line to end lap 1, but as we said, this driver's got to do it 25 more times. So now Tucho looks like he allows his teammate pass. Maverick, he's been faster through some races, so doesn't put up much of a fight, and now Maverick up into P3.
Yeah, in the chat, Apex, wish we could have let you jump in this spot. We didn't know, it was so last minute, but thank you for joining. Thank you for the recent subscription. I will follow you back and subscribe. Do appreciate that. But we also have to let everybody know you have to run the medium and the hard compounds for a minimum of 5 laps here tonight. So we've been switching it up. Every round is a little bit different. The laps are different. The fuel and tire wear is different. We have fuel on ×3 and tire wear ×4. Correct, Rod?
Yes, indeed. It should be. This driver should have to save a little bit of fuel to not refuel, or either push hard and then take the fuel in the pit lane, and then tire wear is also gonna play a bit of a role here with pit strategy. So should be looking forward to it.
Yeah, let's go on board here with Spec here as he's running down Love Juice. I do, Apex. Yeah, the Supras, we've talked about it. You know, we're blue in the face. They do get a horrendous start off the line, but they do make it up, especially on some tracks. So Spec wound up pulling out a podium last round. It was a good car combo over there at Kyoto, but yeah, he's running down Love Juice right now. Let's see, is he going to go for a move up the inside?
Bit too hot or not? Yeah, bit too hot. Now they're going to be side by side through turn 2, and they leave each other's space, and Love just gets it back through the Curva do Sol and back up into P5.
What a job there by Love Juice. That's just great racing. Spec went for it. You can't blame him for going for it there. But the more that these guys fight it out here, as you see Sephiroth tack onto the back and LJ, his teammate, in the other Supra, now you can see that these first 4 drivers now are basically really pulling away from the field already here. So let's give you a little bit of on board here with the man himself, Sosa. He's got Quartz directly behind him. These guys are probably work in tandem a little bit, because as we said, the more you fight, the more it allows the other cars to catch up, and it's really not what you want, especially with the pit lane that Interlagos has, Rod.
Yeah, indeed. I don't think usually when you're more towards the front and you don't have to make up positions, you don't really battle that much through the first few laps. You just try to do your own race, save your tires, save your fuel, and then you can battle on the last few laps. So you improve your chances of getting a good result. So I don't think we'll be seeing much battling at the start of the race between the front runners, but maybe towards the end of the race we'll have some of that.
Yeah, hopefully we do, as we see Maverick just out of reach there. Thanks, Apex. All good, man. All good. Yeah, Magic in the house. Let's go, boys. Exactly. As we dip out from Quartz and Sosa for a second there, you can see where Maverick is. He's just right where he wants to be, a second off. You got Tucho, who had that unbelievable start off the line. I think he gave the position back to Maverick, as Rod said, because they got a little bit of door banging. As now we have Love Juice. This is a real battle here. We have Love Juice, Spec, and Sephiroth here. Let's take a look at it from Spec's point of view. Go on board with him here in the cockpit view here. It's a very tough part of the track to navigate here. As we said, you can ride these outside curves. You can't get too wide there. As you can see the different lines that they take through there. It almost looks like Spec has a great run on there, as Love Juice a little bit loose. Spec gets a little loose there as well. But they are nose to tail right now, and this is what you like to see, ladies and gents. This is what you like to see. Who gets a better exit?
Final corner. Yeah, final corner, you need a good run, and it looks like Spec has got it. He's gonna use that slipstream and pull up alongside by the looks of it. And does Love Juice defend? No, Love Juice leaves the door open, and Spec says, thank you very much, I'll take that position. Still side by side in turn 1, probably? Not really. Love Juice lets him have it.
So he didn't concede last lap because Spec overran, but now Love Juice concedes this time. And now Love Juice has to be careful as he has Sep right on his tail. What kind of compounds are these guys on, Rod?
Sep and Love Juice and Spec 1 are all on the medium tire. So these are all, you could say, real battles for position, considering they've got a pretty similar pace. So that's gonna be interesting to see.
What a move there by Sephiroth, who gets him up the inside here. But Love Juice is going directly back for it on the inside. Love Juice looks like he's going to have a better run at it here. Can Sep get the outside? They're rubbing a little bit. Oh, got to go on the grass a little bit for Love Juice. Dirty tires. Sep still has the inside now. LJ is directly on the back of this. He did get him. But what that did was that just allowed two things to happen. Spec to get a little bit further as Sep gets a little loose, but he gets back in. But Spec now is able to get a little bit further. Look at that. And LJ is tacked directly onto the back now as we get a look with LJ here. Can LJ get a good run and do the same thing to Love Juice? We shall see here. As you can see, Spec just going around that corner. And that's about how far he is. It's about almost a second now. So Love Juice has lost time. And he's lost basically 2 positions.
He's getting back at Seth, maybe. Ooh, bit of a bump into the braking zone, but nothing wrong with that. A little bit of a bump and run maybe, but not really. Love just stays behind, but looks like he's got a decent run through the Curva do Sol into turn 4, the Skida del Lago, and here we go. Will Seth go defensive? No, he doesn't go defensive. He's gonna try to hold it on the outside, and Love just brakes as late as he can. Little bit of contact. Oh!
LJ gets it.
LJ gets them both. Brilliant driving. Very, very good there.
Ooh, a little bit of tap there. A little bit of tap on the fender there from Love Juice as they were just getting back into position. That wasn't anything intentional, I can assure you that. LJ now moves up in the top 6 now. Exactly what he was looking for. And you might be able to get a little bit of teammate helping each other as Sep now. We have Love Juice in an RR sandwich here, so we'll see how that goes. Let's get a quick look through the field here. LSE not far behind in that Audi, really making some headway here. So props to LSE and that beautiful looking Audi, one of my favorites. We got Ghost on track here in the Viper. I don't know if Ghost went for a little bit of a different strategy starting from the back. He might be on the hards, which will pay off for him as he gets a little bit out of whack and drifting just slightly, but great job of controlling it and getting it back on track. He might be on the hards. As we go back to the top, Rod, at the lead is Sosa still with Quartz directly behind him, and you can't separate these guys with a sheet of paper here.
Yeah, they are, as we said before, they are staying close to each other for the time being, not really fighting, and I think they're racing smart because they're currently pulling away. They could be, they have pretty similar pace, so they could be battling a little bit and overtaking, but right now they're choosing to pull away, and right now it's a second and a half. Not too much considering we've done 7 laps of racing, but yeah, it might not be entertaining for viewers or fans, but I think they're doing the right thing for the race at the moment.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do. Yeah, Ghost is going to get up there. Thanks, everybody in the chat. We are not forgetting about you. We do appreciate it greatly. Really much appreciated here. But as we see what Maverick is doing, as Rod said, he's only about a second and a half behind. But then you have Tucho, who's dipping off a little bit, but he's still in a really wonderful position. But now you have Spec is closing that gap. So 3 seconds for Tucho either way, but Spec is closing the gap. And now you see LJ has pulled away ever so slightly here as Sephiroth and Love Juice still going at it here in the same car, same power, just different drivers here. And again, Rod, it is so important to stress that strategy is key here in these races.
Oh yeah, strategy has played I'll say a pretty deciding factor on round 1 and round 2 especially. We had the top 2 only covered by about a second, and one did a free stop I think, and the other one did a 2-stop. So yeah, it was really interesting to see those two strategies clashing together regardless of a pretty large pit delta. So I mean, yeah, there's still a lot of racing to do and a lot of strategies to check out. So
yeah, and these guys are all within range here. I mean, even the leaders here, you know, Maverick is right there. Tucho is not far behind. So even with the leaders being where they are, as a little, you know, say, we can get you the exact update here, but you know, Spec in 5th place is only 9 seconds away from the lead here, and LJ is 12, and you have Sep and Love Juice directly, you know, on the tail of each other, nose to tail. What up, Prozac Gaming in the house? Thank you, as always, for stopping by. Make sure you guys drop the like button for me and Rodrigo and SFR. If you want to get involved, everybody, you can go to SFR GT Challenge on Facebook and join our Discord in the pin message. As we have Sosa in the pits, here comes his crew. Let's see what Sosa does.
Yeah, Sosa, that's interesting. Race leader, first one to hit the pit lane, and now Quartz hits the front for the first time this race, so pretty interesting to see. Maybe Sosa is covering an undercut because Quartz could maybe choose to overtake him in the pit lane, but yeah, Sosa is trying to prevent that. But actually, I don't think he's putting on the hard tires and maybe getting those out of the way and then going till the end of the soft.
Yeah, so let's see what Quartz winds up doing here, as he's got a 2-second lead on Maverick right now. And we will see, does Quartz decide to jump in? Does Maverick decide to jump in? We shall see. I don't think, if I'm not mistaken, Rod, I don't believe anybody started on the soft tire.
No, everybody has actually started on the medium tire, which is a pretty funny coincidence, but
yeah.
Now LSE goes into the pit lane.
Okay, LSE is in. LSE is in, and look at that. Quartz is on a flyer right now on the fastest lap so far. He's got a purple sector coming up. We love seeing those purple sectors. Oh yeah, Prozac, we got a GTS series. This is the final series of GTS, the final one. So at SFR, we will be moving on to GT7. But yes, I know it's right. Rev Prozac, I know. Okay, Maverick dipped in.
Yeah, Maverick into the pit lane. Quartz not entering the pit lane yet, but he has just put not really the fastest lap of the race. The fastest lap of the race is 31.282 by Sosa, but he puts on a 31.285. So I'll say pretty much the fastest lap of the race. He's the fastest car on track at the moment. So overcut currently paying off for him.
Okay, so we have Maverick coming out on the hards. Interesting to say that Love Juice and Maverick on DNA both took the same strategy here and pit the same lap, but Tucho did not. So it's going to be interesting to see here, as Tucho now is only 6 seconds behind Quartz here. So he's a little bit off the strategy of his other teammates. Maybe that comes down to tire wear and just the type of car. Maybe the Vipers can stretch the mediums a little bit longer than the Vet. I mean, well, you know, you don't want to stay on track and lose too much time, Rod. And Quartz has to think about that now. But as we turn back on Quartz, he's purpling again around this final sector, getting that Mazda loose. Look at that. We'll see if Quartz does jump into the pits now. You would think he might, but he's still not losing speed. So
oh, here we go, into the pit lane.
He's into the pit lane. Now, the big question here is, does Quartz go hards or does he go soft? We shall see.
I think he's gonna go hard to copy Sosa at the moment, because I think he's gonna be out ahead of him with those laps. He's done a brilliant job, and Sosa has, like, he had to put on the hards, and he's gonna lose just a little bit of time out there compared to Quartz. So,
and you can see Quartz has 4 extra liters than Tucho, which you wouldn't think is a lot, but it does add up. Listen to that Mazda. And yes, so
Quartz is out way ahead. way ahead. That's brilliant driving. He must be, I'll say it's 1 second per lap, so he must be about, no, it's a little bit less than that, but he's about a second and a half ahead of Sosa, and yeah, good on him.
Yeah, good on him. Now, that leaves 3 Rockafella Racing drivers, led by Spec in the lead, 4 seconds ahead of LJ. LJ is one and a half ahead of Sep, so we shall see what these boys do here. Are they going to run? These guys might be looking to cut out a stint. Now, I don't know any of the strategy that they have planned here tonight, so we shall see. But you got on the podium as it sits right now, you got 3 Rockafella Racing drivers, with 2 of them being in Supers. So we'll keep an eye on Spec and see what he does, and then we'll get back to Quartz, Sosa, and Maverick, along with Tuccio on the back end of that. So does Spec come in? He does not. He does not. Will LJ come in?
Wow.
No.
Okay. No, I think this is actually pretty interesting because usually you want to use the softs, but nothing says that you must use them. So I think that what I'm thinking is these guys might go for the hards and then try to do a one-stop and maybe outsmart all the other guys at the front. So they might not be the fastest, but right now they are actually ahead.
That is, I'll tell you what, and I as we see Spec drift in there ever so slightly there, but I am not privy to this information. I don't know what their strategy is, actually, so it's not like I have any secret information, and neither does Rod if one of his teammates race, but we don't know what any of these guys or girls are going to do, so this is interesting, and by the indication of how it looks, Rod, I think you might be right. I think they are going to possibly skip the softs entirely, and we have to mention this. In the history of SFR, it's only been done one time at a track at Le Mans, which, you know, you would figure if anywhere it could be done there, and it was done by your teammate, the one and only Defson, and he was the first person and the only person to never use soft compounds in SFR, so we shall see what goes on here.
Yeah, this is incredible, you know, and it could mix up these guys who are you know, dark horses in the midfield maybe, but could put them in the front. So right now I'm keeping my eye on Spec specifically. He's a pretty rapid driver, and he is currently 13.5 seconds ahead of Quartz. So even if Quartz is faster, that's a pretty big gap you've got to catch. So
as we are on board, what a job by LSE getting out of the way there for Spec. LSE is going to have to probably do the same thing for LJ and Sep. So, yeah, as we go on board with Spec here, let's see how much time he's actually losing here, because obviously the fuel is burning off with the tire wear, and if you can manage your tire wear pretty well here, you might actually be able to pull something off. So they're going for it. They're giving it a shot, Rod. That's what they're doing. They are saying to themselves, you know what? We're looking to cut out a whole pit stop here, and that's about what, 25 seconds? Give or take.
That's pretty good, yeah. And I like it, you know. I like the bravery because they are the only ones that are doing something different out here. They've clearly done their testing, so has everyone else, but they've come up with this one, and it's brave because you're gonna do so many laps on the hards where you're probably gonna have some others hunting you down on the soft tires. So we'll see if it pays off for them.
Yeah, we'll see. And Spec is still staying out. So this is heading into lap 14 now. Let's take a look at LJ Scotiggy. I hope I'm not blowing your name, and if I am, break it down to syllables for me, please, and I'll get it right eventually.
Alright, Sosa into the pit lane. He was, I guess, going for another undercut, and this should be pretty good for him because he's going to be on the soft tires. And probably catching Quartz a little bit while he's still on the hards. I think Quartz has to do 2 more laps on the hards, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, we'll see if that pays off for Sosa. He needs to get ahead of him on track position because they are pretty even on pace, so it's going to be a little bit hard for him to get around him.
Yeah, it is. Now, well, somebody in the chat, so Prozac from Rev Prozac, you're in our Discord, so you'll be able to definitely check out for GT7 things coming in the future. But they might be losing a lot of time on the hards as you would normally think, but if they can cut a whole pit stop out, that's going to wind up saving that time lost on track for putting the hards on. So there is a ton of strategy on it. Obviously the other guys don't think it's such a good idea because they didn't do it themselves, but like Rodrigo was mentioning, the Rockafella guys have obviously done some testing and they decided to go with this brave strategy here as...
Oh, here we go. Spec hits the pit lane.
Okay, so lap 14.
So does LJ.
LJ coming in. Okay, there we go. And I'm sure Sephiroth is going to come in next. He will. So, lead relinquished back to Quartz. And Quartz has actually made a little bit of time up on Maverick now. Maverick dipped into the pit lane. So is Quartz doing an extra lap on the hards? He's only got one back marker in front of him right now. Okay.
Actually, Maverick did one lap earlier, so they are all doing 5 laps on hards. They just did it on different times. Now I'm interested to see where Sosa is, because he's probably gonna put on some fastest laps on the soft tires, while Quartz is gonna struggle a little bit on those hards. While oh, there we go. LSC, pretty sportsmanlike, gets out of the way. And
yeah.
Good to see.
Okay, so I got the syllable breakdown. Okay, awesome. Scott Tiggy. Sharkbait in the house. What's up? What's up, Sharkbait? Yeah, they were on mediums, Prozac. Yeah, this will clear a lot up, and thank you guys. Thank you guys. We're trying to be as engaging as possible at the same time, but now Tucho here is still now 11 seconds he's got between him and Spec, but Rod, Spec did come out and LJ came out basically in the same position they were. Well, they didn't lose any positions other than the first two, because Quartz and Tucho will make one more pit stop, but you have Sosa really closing down the back of LJ. It's only going to be a matter of time. I got it wrong. I'm sorry.
All right, Quartz and Tucho into the pit lane. I think that this is turning into such an exciting race, because it's people that I personally didn't expect to be at the front. I expected the usual maybe Quartz, Sosa, Maverick, but you cannot sleep on these people, and they are really putting on a smart strategy, and I'm excited. I mean, if they have a big lead, those soft tires could wear out quite a bit, and then maybe they could defend it until the end. But we'll see. As you know what Spec has going on for him? He has one car, or actually he might have 2 cars in between him and oh, here we go. Okay, sorry, pick up my words. Sosa has jumped Quartz. The undercut has really worked out for him. He'll have a little bit more tire wear on those soft tires, but he has track position, so that's pretty important. Now, Beck in the lead, he's on the hards, whereas Sosa and Quartz are gonna be on the softs, so they're gonna be chasing him down. But what Spec has going on for him is that he's got his teammate in P2, which is quite crazy. So probably they're gonna be communicating, and they are gonna, or LJ is gonna try to hold up Sosa and Quartz for as long as possible. Look at that. Now Sosa creeps up into the back of LJ. LJ is probably gonna hold that race lane, and this is gonna get exciting.
Ooh, Sosa wants by. He's gonna get it. He's gonna get it. Is Quartz gonna get it as well? Quartz can't get it just yet.
I don't think that was too smart by Sosa, because now LJ is gonna use the slipper and most likely fight back into turn 1. That's gonna lose him a little bit of time. If LJ can get back past into turn 1, then that's gonna be pretty detrimental to Sosa's charge.
Yeah, exactly, Rod. Now LJ does dip a nose up there, but he thinks better of it, and now Quartz has got to be biting his tongue, saying, "Let me through, please, let me through." As we get a good shot here, I think LJ is just a little bit wide, but that super S top end speed here But it does look like Quartz is going to definitely have the inside here. As he does. But the good thing going for LJ and Spec, as you said, is LJ did his job there as a teammate. Great job to hold both of them up as long as he could. But Quartz, Sosa, and Maverick are going to have to make one more pit stop. And now for Maverick, on top of that...
This is their final stop. This is their final stop.
Oh, this is their final stop. Okay, so they're gonna be running the softs to the end now here. Okay, that's right. But now Maverick has to do the hard work of not only getting past LJ, he also has to wind up trying to keep up. Oh no, LJ left. What happened there?
LJ got disconnected. Internet issues. That's so gutting to see. He was doing such a good race, such a good performance for him, but. Damn, it all ends up in nothing in the end.
Man, I'll tell you, the internet guys just sometimes play that devil. They get you. LJ was having a phenomenal race. I don't know what happened. It's like we said in the beginning, sometimes it could be other people's connections that do drag the servers down. It does happen here. But getting back to the race here, we're sorry, LJ, if you do tune in. Everybody's been rooting for you. You guys were trying to pull off a great bold strategy. He was right behind Sosa and Quartz. He held them up for a little bit. And actually, Rod, I don't think Maverick would have been able to pass him just yet, although Maverick's making up room. But now Maverick says to himself, okay, well, I got a clear track ahead of me, and I just have to focus on trying to catch Sosa and Quartz. But we take a look at the leader here. Spec is the one that is really showing out here. But within minutes, within laps, he is going to have really seriously couple fast drivers on his tail here. And again, Spec is a veteran. He knows exactly what he's doing. But there's only so much you could do, Rod, when you're on hard tires versus a soft tire. But, like you did mention, the hard tires are going to take a lot longer to wear than the soft tires. So, let's see how this plays out here. As we get a look through the field, you see Sosa and Quartz right there. Maverick, 2.5 seconds behind. Sephiroth now and Tucho are separated here by LSE here. Love Juice has fell behind a little bit. I don't know if there was an accident with Love Juice or not. He's not too far behind. Something could happen for him. And Ghost is rounding out here, doing pretty good in the Viper. And you have LSE as a back marker right now. Whoa, LSE way off the track and out of the way. He said, I don't want to ruin anybody's race. He gets out of the way in the Audi here. But we go back to the top of the field here, and let's go on board with Sosa here. As you see what the gap is in front of him, and you see what it is behind them. So I don't think he's too worried about Quartz behind them at the moment, Rod. He's just focusing on Spec. And now Spec is going to have to make that Supra as wide as a bus if he can. Look at this, ladies and gents. Look at this. We're just going to let this play out here.
Ooh! Spec loses the back end, and both drivers are through. And man, how it goes out to Spec, you know, that was a he tried and he had to go bold with strategy to challenge for the podium, but yeah, it was a good show. And but now you're still in the podium, and you could still keep up, and maybe they could battle a little bit. I'm sure Quartz and Sosa are gonna be swapping the lead a few times towards the end of the race. So hey, he just gonna keep at it, and we'll see. You know, many possibilities to this race.
Yeah, many possibilities, as one of them for sure is the win. So we'll see who could take the win between Sosa and Quartz. These guys are very evenly matched basically the whole race. Next up, can Maverick get around Spec? Is Spec going to make that easy for him? Which is, we take a look right now on board with Maverick here. Maverick is the overall points leader in this championship so far. There are no drop rounds in this championship. It's a 6-round series. So Maverick is directly onto the rear bumper of Spec right now, and he wants to get through. He's going to probably go to the inside. Spec might show respect and say, I'll give it to you, but he might not. He think he does, and he says, okay, I'm beaten there, and now he lets Maverick on the charge. What can Maverick do as far as getting next to Sosa and Courts, as Spec looks pretty comfortable to hold on to that 4th position if anything happens. And it's not too much of a net loss for Spec because he did start in 4th, and he actually dropped 2 positions, Rod, off the line due to Tucho's outstanding start in that Viper. So all in all, Spec went for it, so did LJ, and I think they both would have had 4th and 5th barring some sort of crazy incidents that happened here if LJ never got disconnected. But wow, I gotta tell you, man, that's a tough one for LJ.
Quartz on the inside, he pulls up alongside. They're gonna be side by side into turn 1. We'll see if Sosa doesn't really try to fight it, and now Quartz hits the front with 5 laps to go.
So maybe they're playing a little cat and mouse game here, saying now I'm a little low on fuel. Let me get the slip from you. LJ in the chat. LJ, we're so sorry. LJ got blue screen. I don't think it was an internet issue. He just got the fatal blue screen. I am so sorry, LJ. Your strategy was really something that we were looking at. Really could have been awesome, man. You and Spec and Sep all on the same strategy. I'm not sure about Ghost, but man, really sorry about that, LJ. But you were doing great, man. You were doing great. So these two now, Rod, Sosa and Courts, they know each other really well here. They've been on track together multiple times, but what they don't really know is this man right here. They don't know Maverick, who is not going to let this go easily. Maverick, I mean, all 3 of these guys are about the same pace. It's going to come down to who can manage their softs better. Now, I believe Maverick pitted a lap after Sosa and maybe before Courts. So, I am not sure.
I think it was Sosa first, then Maverick, and then Quartz. So
okay.
Quartz has been managing his softs, and he also has newer softs, so he's got that going on for him. To be fair to him, he's put on quite a decent gap on Sosa. He's now about 7 tenths ahead, and I think that right now he's got a little bit more to give than these two.
As we lose another one, LSC is out here. Now that could have just been we don't know if it was network connections or not, but that could have been LSE just saying I had enough of this tonight at Interlagos. Sometimes it's the way it goes, but LSE usually sticks it out, so we're assuming that maybe LSE had some problems. We're not sure here, but we have 4.5 laps left, Rod, and this is pretty dicey here. This is pretty interesting because we do have, as you said, Court's kind of gapping Sosa a little bit. He's putting more time on him right now, but Maverick is closing in on Sosa here, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. And Spec on those hards is not too far behind at all, so really props to Spec in that strategy. That's unbelievable, and he's still managing to, hold it within a relative gap here. So if something does go crazy at the front, he will be there to stomp on a podium. Tucho has wound up overtaking Sephiroth here, and Sephiroth on that same strategy as Tucho now is up, I believe, 2 positions from the beginning. So even that little craziness that happened with Maverick off the start, his teammate, he did give it back to him. He's in a top 5 right now. Sephiroth top 6 here. But Love Juice, something must have happened with Love Juice that we did not see, Rod, because Love Juice was battling with LJ and Sep that whole time, and I don't think those pit cycles really did too much damage to him, but we'll see, because he still has some time that he could possibly make up to actually get Sephiroth here. And we have Ghost pushing hard in that Viper here, as Ghost will continue to come along here. Good job on Ghost. And now we're back at the top here. And we're back on. Let's go on board in this Mazda for a nice full lap with the leader here, Courts. As he's coming around these last sectors here, we'll see what kind of lap he puts in, Rod.
Are we going on board for the full lap?
Yeah, we'll go on board for the full lap with him here. So we're starting at the back straight here. Take it away, Rod.
All right, here we go. We are through the subida dos boxes, which means pit lane uphill. But here we go. You gotta get a good exit for the final corner. You've already got that one done, and now here we go. You gotta brake about on the 75-meter board for turn 1. The Senna is hug the inside, get a little bit of curb. You really gotta cut the second curve, ride it a lot, and then try to ride this curve. Use up all the track, and then on the exit, that's Curva do Sol, turn 3. Now the Reta Posta, back straight, and now you gotta brake just past the 100-meter board. Here we go, brake hard down into 3rd gear through the Cida do Lago, and be on the power as early as you can. Don't go too far wide. Now flat out up until Ferradura and Curva do Laranjinha. Here we go, 3rd gear, hold it, don't get too eager on the power. You might understeer wide or maybe lose the back end. Braking for the first out of 2 hairpins, turn 8, and now turn 9, get the good rotation, and there we go, use the exit curve. That's pretty sweet. Now turn 10, Bico de Pato, which means actually a duck's beak in English, but this is in Portuguese, of course. Mergulho. If you get a good run, you can take it flat out. Don't go too far wide because there's no grip on the green AstroTurf. Final corner on Jungsau. You can go maybe a little bit on the grass on the exit to use all the track, and now uphill, turn 14, not really a corner, but subida the boxes, and then, well, that's a lap around Interlagos. Quartz really taking it away, and now the gap is 2.2, so really stretching it out right now.
And he's still running. He's only about a tenth or two down from where he was through certain sectors of the track, so he is still holding on to those tires very well, as he's definitely put a gap on Sosa now, and it looks like Maverick is losing some time here to Sosa here. So Maverick is definitely, he was about 2.5 seconds behind, but now he is, as you can see, almost 4 seconds behind here. So it looks like the podium is pretty much set. We'll check on Spec again here. Spec doing a good job hanging on to those racing hards, and he's not too far out. Tuccio, though. Tuccio is 5 seconds behind Spec. It's going to be a lap and a half. Could he get it done? As you can see, Spec in the distance there on Tuccio. I'm not sure, but it's going to be something to watch. Sephiroth now doing another Rockafella strategy as these guys have it, but there you go. There you see Love Juice creeping in. Love Juice has cut that lead down to 2.5 seconds here on Sephiroth. So Sephiroth is going to have to do some serious defending, I would say, by the end of this race here. And it once again is vet versus vet here. So we will see what happens there. And Ghost coming around here, still on the lead lap. Good job by Ghost, as Ghost and his Viper is coming along here pretty well. You do see Quartz in the background, but I don't think he'll be able to lap Ghost, but we'll see about that as we go back now. Final lap of the race here, ladies and gents. Final lap as you get a great shot of that TX3 livery, and Quartz coming through as those brake disc glow. I gotta love that. I do love that indeed. I do. As you see Quartz right now, 2.5 ahead of Sosa. So Mazda, Vet, and another Vet here. As these three guys are locked into the podium, we actually will have interviews after this on the podium drivers here. Spec and Tuccio. Tuccio is closing here. Sephiroth and Love Juice there, very close. We'll have to come back to that, but as we go here and we take a look as Quartz is coming through the final corner here, he's built that over 3 seconds now. What a job by Quartz, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a redemption run for him, as he basically had a wheel connection disconnect last race, and he just finished behind Maverick. But tonight, as he's starting to get loose and wiggle waggle, he takes the win. Sosa coming through in second place, and Maverick not far behind in third. Podium drivers right there as Spec. What a job by Spec. taking home a second fourth place finish, back-to-back rounds. So he's got to be happy with that. Tucho was closing in, but it paid off for Spec there because he did wind up beating him out there. As Sephiroth now coming through for the final lap, he is able to hold off Love Juice barely, but he's able to get it just. So if there's any penalties that might be an issue, we might be able to hand out some penalties if possible. It might be, as Ghost is on the final lap there. But hey, what a job here by these three drivers, Rod. Tip your hat to Quartz. They played the strategy right. I really do like the Rockafella strategy that they had. I don't think it was going to work, though. It was really interesting to see that, but I don't think that it was going to hold off Sosa and Quartz and even Maverick. As you see, Maverick was just not too far behind at all. But this is going to definitely toss things up in the standings, ladies and gents. As you do see Spec there now too, and Tucho. If Tucho had another lap, it would have been in there. Sephiroth and Love Juice really were right there. They were right there. Love Juice, I'm telling you, we missed it, folks. Sorry about that. We must have missed it on screen. Something had to happen to Love Juice because he was right in that battle with LJ and Sephiroth here. As we have Ghost now in that Viper coming across the line here. Will he flash? Will he drift? Will he pull the e-brake for us? None of the above, but he gets it done. As it's still going to be solid points due to the dropouts, as we've had 3 drivers unfortunately drop. Thank you, guys. It was an amazing race. It was an amazing race. Okay, so you're in the GT Champions. Good, good, very good. But Quartz takes it home. Takes it home, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you hang around here with us for just a few seconds here, we're going to get some of the thoughts between the podium drivers, which would be TX3 Quartz, SV Sosa, and DNA Maverick. As I will save the replay. Can you save it as well, Rod?
Yes, will do.
Okay. So, great job by those guys there. Great job by those guys. Let's get into our interview room here. If you guys could bear with us just for 1 second here. And we're going to just head over to the drivers' meeting, where we will get the other guys, the podium finishers. We will get them in here. Okay, so we're just waiting for those guys here for a second, but it was indeed a great race, guys. It was. I am so sorry for LJ that he wound up getting disconnected in a really great overall spot there. So that's a tough one to swallow here. But as we have it here, we have Quartz, then we have Sosa, and then we have Maverick. So yeah, it was a great battle, Magic. It really was. Great strategies throughout. Really, really happy to see that. So hopefully these guys will jump into the meeting with us, and we do have them here. So we're going to talk to TX3 Quartz first with amazing race.
Boing.
Hey, Quartz, how you doing, man? Congratulations on the win. Great strategy there from you, and it's got to feel like redemption after last week, huh?
Yeah, the famous Elgato and the fuel. No. Famous
Yeah.
one. But thank you for the compliment, by the way.
Oh,
That
you're
was a good race.
Yeah, your driving was outstanding. And we did have to say, actually, we didn't get a chance to talk to you at Kyoto, but did you indeed have a wheel disconnect at Kyoto? Is that what happened to you?
So basically at Kyoto, my Elgato was plugged in my PC and in my TV, obviously. And my PC closed like out of nowhere, so I didn't have my screen during like the half a lap, and I lose 5 seconds, so I lose a race on that basically.
So So it looks like we have to put a call into Elgato and ask them what's going on there. Because if it wasn't for that, you could argue you might have actually been able to hold off Maverick, despite being on the hard compound while he was on the mediums. But nevertheless, last week was a great race, and tonight you came out and you showed out right from the jump. So we're proud to have you here, and we hope you can continue racing with us. Why don't you tell us a little bit about TX3, if you don't mind, and what your plans are for GT7? Are you excited?
Oh yes, absolutely. Probably. Well, I'm gonna stay a longer amount of time for sure. My plan is probably to do the FIA, maybe a couple of league races, like at the left and the right, sort of things basically.
Very good, very good. And TX3, how long have you been with TX3?
Not that much of time. I think, if I'm right, it was in the middle of January or at the beginning. I was on the online squad at this moment, so it was probably like at the beginning. I don't have the exact date.
Well, virtual drivers, we've had them in our series at SFR for quite some time. But yeah, it's great to have all these different teams in here, and especially you representing us. So we hope to see you next week. Anything else that you want to add in other than you take the crown for this round? But anything else you want to say to anybody out there?
I want to say thanks for Sosa for the slip in. Like, we got in quality, we gave it to each other, and for a race we did like together. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, you guys were working in tandem together a lot.
And I want to tell this one is for Sosa. It's more for him than me. But yeah, it's basically that. That was a cool race.
Very good, Quartz, and we will see you, I hope, at Majori for next round.
Yes, I'm gonna be there for sure.
Okay, perfect. And we'll have those standings updated shortly, which will make things interesting between you, Maverick, and Sosa. So, with that being said, thank you, Quartz, for joining us, and we will move on to the newest member of SV, and that's Sosa. So, hey, Sosa, SV Sosa. So, hey, we know Erky, we know Cyrus, so it's great to see you a part of their crew.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Rod, do you have any certain questions for Sosa?
Well, what were you thinking of doing with like, were you thinking of an undercut on the first stint, because you had track position, but you pitted earlier than Quartz, and you ended up losing out because you put on the hards while he was still out there on the medium. So what were you thinking? Were you thinking track position? Were you thinking more strategy? But yeah, that's a question basically. What was your plan to get ahead and win the race?
In practice, that's just what I ran. In hindsight, I'm sure I could have done a lap or two more, but I was more worried about Maverick, trying to make sure I came out ahead of him, and I was thinking ahead, and I ended up actually coming out ahead of Quartz, since he had to do a couple of extra laps on the hards. So yeah, it worked out. I figured I wasn't going to beat Quartz anyways. He had the pace. The Mazda is notorious for being very good in the race, so I just was kind of running my own race.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, you did.
I'm sorry, Rod. I got a question. Was choosing the vet based solely upon the fact that you know that we have grid starts here, and it's a great car off the line, probably second to none, other than maybe the Viper or the Merc? Was that a big factor in your decision, or do you just really love the vet?
I do love the vet. I drove it for a couple seasons in FIA, but I was really just thinking about the Red Bull Ring race, because I came in with the AMG and I saw Maverick in the vet, and I was like, damn, why didn't I think of that? So I just picked it and rolled with it.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's been turning out to be something amazing here. So I'm glad that you did. I'm glad that Maverick did. We're gonna get to Maverick in 1 second. Somebody had a question. Is Quartz still with us here? If you are Quartz, somebody had a question. Prozac in our chat here. He just wanted to know if you really are a member of TX3. So
Yes, I am.
yes, okay, so it's official. He is a member. And yeah, we just wanted you to clarify that for somebody in the chat. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. And we will move on to DNA Maverick GT now and his vet. So Maverick, I will introduce Maverick here. DNA Maverick has been with DNA Motorsports for a very long time. He's been with SFR for from the beginning. He is one of the premier members of SFR. We are always so happy to have him with us. And Maverick is the points leader going into tonight, and it might stay that way because he's on the podium again. He is just, what could I say? He's just a solid, strong driver no matter where you put him, no matter what car you put him in. So Maverick, what was tonight like for you and your strategy for tonight?
Well, first of all, congrats to Quartz and Sosa. I had no idea, but you're working together in qualifying. That explains why I was a little bit slower than y'all. That was really tough to catch y'all in qualifying. But no, tonight was a struggle. Nothing really went my way. I got a horrible start. That first turn, the car just snapped, and I had to recover it, and Tusho got in front of me. And then Tusho was very kind enough to let me through. But by that time, I already lost the draft.
We did see that. Yeah, we saw that. Yep.
So, yeah, it's just unfortunate. And then came out of the pits and got into traffic. Kind of beating myself up right now because that's 2 weeks in a row I've gotten the strategy wrong. I did one extra stop last week, but I probably shouldn't have. And then this week, I didn't even think about doing a one stop. Would have been interesting. I mean, Spec and, the Rockafella guys pulled off a good strategy there, good thinking out of the box. So with me struggling tonight on pace, yeah, I probably should have tried a one stop and see how much time that would have cut off. I finished 7 seconds behind, so who knows what that would have done. Probably would have been a little bit closer. Who knows? But yeah, just didn't have the pace tonight. There's some tracks coming up that I'm feeling a little bit better, so we'll see what happens. But,
absolutely. And it caught Rodrigo and I by surprise as well, because we had no idea that was even an option for them, and they did cut out a whole pit stop. And I'm not sure if you noticed this during the race, but LJ wound up getting disconnected. He got blue screened, unfortunately, but he and Spec were the gap between you, Sosa, and Quartz. So you were going to have to fight around Spec. Yeah, what you did eventually, you got around LJ, and then you got around Spec. But were you thinking about that in your head, like, hey, these guys, I know they're on the hard compound now, but I'm not only trying to make time back up to Quartz and Sosa, but now I got to get around these two guys. So they were kind of the cork in the bottle with that out of the box thinking strategy. Was that laboring on you at all?
No, not at all. I figured that I can probably get around them. Seth actually put up a pretty good fight. I was not expecting that, but that's okay. It's part of racing. I think I was about 5 seconds ahead of Spec when I first pitted. Maybe I have to go back and look at the replay. So I mean, that would have been interesting how that would have all played out if I tried the one stop. But hey, I mean, it is what it is. And the fact that my pace is just not great here. So I used to be good here, but I mean, there's faster people here tonight. So I'll keep getting better.
Yeah, well, hey, you tip your hat to those guys. I mean, when you say you're not fast here, I take that with a grain of salt and I throw it over my shoulder, because you guys are all lightning fast. So, but I know how deep down you feel about it, and you always want more. That's one thing I always admire about you, not just you, but all the guys and girls that participate, is that you always want more. But I know personally how you feel about it, and you're always digging and looking for that extra advantage. So hopefully you can carry that over into Italy as we go to Maggiore, and that should be some interesting racing here. And before we let you go, how and what do you feel about GT7? Do you feel much anticipated for it to come out? Are you hoping anything with it that maybe we haven't heard or seen yet with it? What are your thoughts about GT7?
Well, it looks good, obviously, with all the state of gameplay and the trailers that have come out. The one big question mark I'm sure everyone's wondering is, what is the online gameplay going to be like? What is the penalty system going to be like? And we haven't heard anything about FIA, so I mean, it's kind of great that I guess, the driver ratings is getting carried over as of, I think like yesterday or the day before.
Oh, is that right? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, an announcement came out a few days ago that whatever our driver rating is as of February 15th, that's going to be carrying over to GT7, along with don't hold it against me on this, along with maybe up to 100 liveries that you've done. Your replays are not going to get moved over, so any of your race replays or best lap replays, they're not getting carried over. But everything else, like liveries,
and
decals,
logos and all that, are gonna get carried over.
They should be carried over. The only thing that shouldn't is, like I said, should be the race replays, your best lap replays, and then the escapes. I don't think those are being carried over.
Well, hey, listen to that. This is something that we learn new every day. Thank you for that info, Maverick, because that'll save us a lot of time uploading all our team decals back into a whole new game. So that would be pretty cool. But point well taken here. We haven't heard a lot from Kaz or anybody on the team at Polyphony on what it's going to be like on multiplayer here. So we're wondering, is the physics going to change a little bit? And as you said, how that is exactly going to work. But no doubt about it, we're all excited. And actually, this final season is going to end pretty much within a few days after 7 comes out. So it's going to be the perfect ending to a long time series and game that we've been all been playing for a long time and really love so much. So obviously we look for you to be in SFR and GT7, and but before that we finish this and we head to Majori next round. So thank you as always, Maverick. Always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you to Sosa and Quartz as well. Great race, guys. Great race to everybody else as well. Sorry those guys got disconnected. It's a bit unfortunate, but yeah, we will certainly see you at Lago, and yeah, from there we will we'll do our thing, man, and hopefully you take home a podium or better there as well. So thanks, Maverick. We appreciate it.
Thank you as always for what you guys are doing, both you and Rod. Appreciate y'all broadcasting. Appreciate all of y'all hard work. It's going back and checking the replays. It's really awesome to watch. So y'all are doing a great job. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate that. We're just a couple of knuckleheads over here, and we did get a few. We'll let these drivers go, Rod. Thank you, everybody, for joining us and getting the people out there to get to know them a little bit and see what's happening with that. Timmy checks in. No problem, Timmy. You were out for tonight, but you could watch it back. It was a great race. Prozac is saying here, you guys make up a great commentating team, and that might be the best we heard so far from anybody. So we appreciate that, Prozac. We really do. We'll exit out of here, Rod, and we have the final results, guys. So once again, it was a phenomenal race here. We're gonna exit this lobby now here, and we'll go return to the garage. Let's see what car catches, and I think I might have switched it up. What I got to do, Rod, just so everybody at home knows, is because I myself might enter a lobby by mistake, so I never put myself in the same class car. Oh, there we go. We're in the GR2, one of my favorites, the Nissan, so the newer one actually. So yeah, there we go. We're in the GT2. So anyway, Rod, that was a phenomenal race. The strategy was really off the wall, actually, and as you heard the podium drivers say, it was kind of up in the air for them as well, but I think you really got to tip your hat, and I don't know how it would have played out, because again, with the disconnect on LJ, I feel so bad, but the battles were really great, and that was out of the box thinking with strategy there.
Yeah, I think that was the main factor for today's race. I don't think we saw as many battles, of course, as in Kyoto, for example. Kyoto was absolute madness, but yeah, sometimes it plays out like that. I think the top three were pretty evenly matched, of course. Beck trying something different. Maybe if somebody else tried the strategy, it could have gone better, it could have gone worse, but they did a great job. They were pretty creative with it, and I think they would have got a fourth and fifth for Rockafella, which is a great result. But yeah, I had fun, and I think that we'll have a race just as good or better at Majore.
Yeah, Majori promotes great racing, and just let me and Rodrigo clear one thing up for you guys is that we did say at the end of last round, we said that we were going to be heading into this round into one of our favorite stomping grounds, and where we met and we've had some battles, but that's actually coming up next week. So that is at Majori. So we will see everybody there. We thank everybody for tuning in. If you weren't live, go back and watch it. We'll share it on excuse me, our Facebook platforms, through our Discord. Prozac, we will indeed get you involved. I know you said something about not actually paying attention to too many of the messages, but yeah, we'll have plenty of time to get you involved with GT7. If you want, you could be a reserve for here, but that's stuff that we could talk about on Discord. But for now, everyone, we really do appreciate it, and Rodrigo and I, along with all the drivers, hopefully a full grid, will see you next Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, as always, for round 4, Rod. We're halfway through this season, so halfway through the final season, and it hasn't disappointed yet, so thank you, everybody, and we will see you again next Thursday. Thank you very much. What?